I don't know, man. At the end of the day, religions aside, beliefs aside, cultures aside, we're all human beings. Yo, what's good, guys? I just want to quickly briefly say that first, I just got over the history of racism, white oppressors oppressing black people, and everything like that, because it's very important to understand context before we talk about issues like this, because it is factual, it's important. It's important for us to understand so we know why these words mean so much and are so powerful, and why we can't just say them. So I first explain that, and then I go into the Peterbot situation more in depth, and then at the end I kind of just give a brief opinion on it and the situation surrounding Peterbot. The Peterbot situation. Oh my, there's a lot to tackle here. I mean, I just want to give my my 2 cents on it, and kind of explain my thought process behind it and how I think. I know there's many different ways that people think about this situation. Some people think it's perfectly fine, and oh, everyone says it. That is the most cooked opinion to have, and if you have that opinion, you need to analyze and just be more aware of what's around you, because it is clearly not alright for everyone to say it. And the unfortunate thing is, that is the reality we live in. People are insanely, what's the right word I'm looking for? People are insanely sensitive to that word, specifically people who are black, okay? In my personal opinion, okay, no one, in the perfect reality, I don't think anyone should say it, because it carries on the idea of racism, because it holds on to it. But I'm not saying that there's no right to the word, because there is. And there's a clear reason why the word still exists. It's because of our history. And in today's society, that word holds a lot of power. And in my opinion, it kind of perpetuates the idea, the distinction between white people and black people. And I disagree with that in that sense. That's why I don't think anyone should say it, in my opinion, because it carries on the idea of racism and the distinguished between different skin colors, which in my opinion is ridiculous. I don't think that way. I don't think that way. When I see a person, I see a person. And yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. And to joke about racism, I understand culture and things, that is different. Joking about that and joking about things with friends, that's different. But it's when you intentionally are joking about racism, but in the worst way. It's making a mockery. Not a mockery in a fun way, not a mockery in a playful way, where it's with your friends and it's fun and everyone understands the joke. It's not like that. And on the internet, you have to be careful, because you don't understand everyone else. You don't understand everyone's mindset. So you have to be careful, especially someone like Peterbot. Someone like Peterbot has a huge fan base, has sponsors, has public figures, and I can guarantee you that those words are insanely harmful. They're very, very harmful to a lot of people. And some people aren't as offended, but people are offended. People are offended. And it's not okay to be like, oh, it's perfectly fine, everyone says it. Because in today's society, those words have power. And unfortunately, it is the truth. And it is. It is. No matter how much you want to be ignorant about it, it is. Those words have power. And you can't just say them. Specifically, unfortunately, again, as I said, it emphasizes the it distinguishes between color, but white people just can't say it. And in society, that is just how it is. I don't want to frame this terribly, and that's why I don't really like talking about these issues because things can be taken out of context and things can be framed very bad. And so that's why I generally don't want to promote talking about religion and race, because things can be said that you don't mean and can be taken out of context. So I want to be very careful how I talk about this. But the N-word has power, right? The N-word has power. In South Africa, there's a K-word that has a far greater power. There's a much worse word to use just because of South African history. But the N-word is a word that that is used to create community. It's to create a sense of belonging and a sense of community. That is how I see it. And it's a sign that they have power. They are equal. And because unfortunately, white ancestors, they took that equality and that right away from them. Bro, white people can get as angry as they want. I can think as much as I want that it shouldn't really be around because it makes us feel inferior. Well, by us, I mean white people. It makes white people feel inferior. And I apologize for framing it like us and them because I hate using words like that because we're all humans at the end of the day. And that's what matters. But unfortunately, like I've been emphasizing this whole video, is that unfortunately the N-word and words that one race can say and another race can't say, it creates divides. And unfortunately, that's just how we have to talk about it because it just is. But what I'm trying to get at is that because of history, because of white oppressors, because of white people being the oppressors in history, it's none of our fault. We didn't do it. Our generation didn't do it. But we have to pick up for the slack they caused. Because it did happen. It did happen. It affected future generations of children, and we have to pick up after them. Because that's our moral duty. And all of this, people not giving a shit, it's fucked up. It's just fucked up. And it's just not okay. And that's, unfortunately, that is just the truth. That's the truth. And so I understand people can slip up. People are influenced by other people. And Peterbot he was definitely influenced by the people around him. I mean, I know, for instance, Bucky, Pilot, all of them. They are sketchy individuals, in my personal opinion. I don't want to throw shade, and I don't know them, so maybe they aren't. Maybe that's just their sense of humor. But he was definitely influenced, because in the video, you can see he says it, and then he looks for confirmation. Is what he said cool? Is it funny? He got no reaction, but that's the instinct. That's the instinct to say something funny, and then look. Oh, was that funny? And he didn't get the reaction he wanted, but that's the type of environment that influences bad behavior to be funny. That's the type of environment that it looked like to me. I mean, if he is the type of person who just doesn't give a shit, doesn't care, then that's also on him. That's just on him. But yeah, I mean, that's overall my opinion. At the end of the day, I just want peace, love, prosperity. I want everyone to work together to create good times, good vibes. None of this clashing with each other. The world has too many problems. We don't need to add to it. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, religions aside, beliefs aside, cultures aside, we're all human beings. Human beings are meant to love each other and are meant to live together and help each other. And that is what humanity is. all humans from all spaces and all areas of life coming together and being united. That is what humanity is. And people need to understand that. People need to understand that.